With only a short break between rounds, Central District and West Adelaide stepped up to the plate on Thursday evening. Unlike the other games that were played on the weekend, the encounter at Elizabeth Oval took place in dry, although cool conditions. It was a fairly even contest throughout. Best on ground for the Bulldogs was Jack Miller. Jack was effective around the ground and accurate in his kicking. He moves the ball well and had a total of 19 disposals and 6 marks. Jack delivered the ball inside 50 on 5 occasions. Top goal scorer for Central was Dom Costanzo with 5. Dom scored late in the first quarter and followed that up with 4 more in the second half. Dom's in his second year in the under-18s. Joel Foster from the Kapunda Football Club had the highest number of possessions for the Bulldogs. He kicked effectively, used strong marking skills and was good in his disposal of the ball. Joel had 8 clearances, 4 tackles and 9 inside 50s, a high for the game. He's the nephew of Bulldogs and Hawks legend John Platten. Another player who played a big part in the Bulldogs' win was Giles O'Driscoll. Giles has been with the club since 2010 and took on rucking duties in round 14. A good all-rounder, Giles had 21 disposals, 6 marks and 5 tackles. He kicked 3 goals too for the game. For West Adelaide, best on ground was Jai Da Silva. Jai's been part of Westies since his junior days. He's played every round this season in the under-18s and is regularly amongst their best players. Jai played in the centre and was a target in getting the ball up forward. He's also a reliable player around the midfield. This is Tom Fitzpatrick's first season with West Adelaide. In fact, it's his first season at any football club. Tom's come from a basketball background and has slotted into footy very well. He's a versatile key position player who's effective at centre-half forward, centre-half back and in the ruck. Last week he had a total of 24 hit-outs. Committed to his team is top-ager Kane Mulvaney. He's been with Westies for the last 4 years and has played 1 game in the reserves. Kane comes from a rugby background. He's an agile player who reads the game well and is very good at dodging and weaving around his opponent. If they'd won, West Adelaide would have moved to 3rd on the ladder. They led at every change, and although it was a close contest on the scoreboard, the Bloods underestimated the skill and hunger of the Bulldogs. In their first win for the season, it was Central District by 9. Wet and slippery conditions on the weekend made the going tough for the players. At Prospect Oval, Shane Grimm's Eagles took on the ladder leaders and won. Round 14 Macca's Cup MVP Jack Enright has been amongst the best players for the Eagles for the past 4 weeks. The 18-year-old is the son of former West Torrens captain Bob Enright. Jack's from the Henley Football Club and has put in a strong performance in the midfield. He was the team's highest possession getter with 30 disposals, 12 clearances and 6 inside 50s. At half-back, the Eagles had the talents of Izzy Bloomson. Izzy travels from Udunda Robertstown to compete. In a composed game, Izzy ran the ball out of defence to start the attack and the feed into the midfield. It paid off for the Eagles on the scoreboard. He's a good decision-maker with fine skills. Supporting Izzy in the backline is Jack Ellsworthy. Jack was named in the Eagles' best players in round 13, but deserves another mention this week for his consistency, his determination and his hard work around the ball. Dangerous up forward is Jackson Press. Jackson's a consistent goal scorer. He kicked 4 of the Eagles' 9 majors. He worked hard to get himself into good position and made the most of his opportunities. First gamer Luke Michael Annie didn't have many touches but made his mark on the game with 1 goal won for the Eagles. Luke's from Riverton and plays for RSMU Hawks, a United club combining Riverton, Saddleworth and Maribel. Luke was competitive around the ground and played well all day. Best on ground for North Adelaide was Josh Pobke. The left-footed on-baller played state under-16 football last year. He's a skillful player who uses the ball well and has been one of the Roosters' better players all season. Josh rotated through the midfield and up forward, kicking 2 goals. Dylan Fowlis boards at Prince Alfred College. He played in the under-16 North Adelaide Premiership side earlier this year, a side that remained undefeated for the season. In round 14, 16-year-old Dylan applied attacking pressure on the half-forward flank. He's very effective around the packs and kicked 1 goal won for the Roosters. Jared Coffey's an overager who played at centre-half and full forward. A reliable tall with clean skills, Jared was the highest possession winner for the Roosters. He had 30 disposals, 10 marks and 5 inside 50s. For North Adelaide, one player that won't see any more of this season is Darcy Knoll. Playing on the half-back flank, in the second quarter Darcy took part in a marking contest and landed awkwardly. Unfortunately for Darcy and the side, he requires a full knee reconstruction. Darcy's only played in a handful of games this season and on Saturday was the 5th best for the side, even though he only took part in half of the game. The Eagles delivered North their 2nd loss for the season. The Roosters and the Eagles are perched 1 and 2 on the ladder respectively, both sitting on 20 points. North Adelaide lead by percentage. Down at the Bay, Glenelg took on Norwood. The Tigers were 30 points up at quarter time, and coach Adam Blakely was very happy with their efforts. But in the second, the Redlegs really lifted, putting in a solid team effort for the rest of the game. Instrumental for Norwood in closing down the opposition was midfielder Matt Hallandale. Matt applied good defensive pressure around the ball and finished the game with an impressive 17 tackles. Matt's a fast rover from Tea Tree Gully Football Club, who's very good at the stoppages. Josh Moyle also plays in the midfield for the Redlegs. He's an under-19 from Rostrevor. Josh was the leading possession getter for Norwood with 24 disposals, 4 marks and 9 clearances. He also scored a nice running goal midway through the second quarter. One of the younger players for the Redlegs is Nicholas Pansini. Nick's an under-17 who goes to St Ignatius College. He's a small, quick, agile player who worked well on the weekend to get the ball forward in the wet conditions. Nick's come up through the juniors and is in his 5th year at the club. Glenelg scored 6 goals 3 in the opening term. The first goal, 3 minutes into the game, was kicked by Cleve Westley. Cleve's in his 2nd season with the Tigers and in his 1st year in the under-18s. Last weekend was his 4th game this year, and he had an outstanding first quarter. He was the team's highest goal scorer with 3. Best on ground for Glenelg was Cameron McPherson. Cameron once again revelled in the less-than-perfect conditions. He was effective around the ground with 6 tackles. The 17-year-old has a good attitude and is a disciplined player with consistent skills. When the tide turned on the scoreboard and his team needed a response, Cameron dug his heels in. Working hard in the ruck for the Tigers in the tough conditions was bottom major Peter Sperling. Peter's from Sacred Heart College and was named in the national under-18 squad. Peter had a total of 30 hit-outs. Jed Redden worked up forward and also in the ruck on the weekend. Jed, like Cam McPherson, has a real competitive streak. In every contest he was involved in, he went in hard at the ball. Jed's from Keith in the southeast and goes to Sacred Heart College. He scored 2 goals in the first half. With all their efforts, the Tigers couldn't hold the Redlegs back, and in their 6th straight win, it was Norwood by 23 points. On a cold, wet, miserable winter afternoon, Sturt collided with South Adelaide at a soggy Glenelg Oval. For the Double Blues, Jared Dooney stood up in the trying conditions. Jared comes from a rugby background and is in his 1st year of the SANFL. He won best and fairest for Pembroke last season and was named Sturt's best on ground for round 14. He's a reliable player, consistent in his efforts. Levi Elms had a terrific first half for Sturt. He's a powerful player who took on the role at full-back on Saturday. Levi was effective at shutting down the opposition to minimise the Panthers' scoring opportunities at goal. In his first game back for Sturt for 5 weeks, James Hargraves had a solid hit-out. From Concordia College, the 17-year-old is a first-year SANFL player. He played on-ball and across half-forward. James's ability to read the play well opened up opportunities and allowed the ball to transition quickly from defence into the forward line. Jaden Pengelly's also been out. The last time he pulled on the boots for Sturt was on the June long weekend. The 18-year-old's in Year 12 at Pembroke. He racked up the stats in his roving duties against the Panthers with 24 disposals and 9 clearances. For the Panthers, Sam Hamilton was best on ground. He's been named in the best players for South Adelaide 4 weeks running. He's solid in defence, has an accurate kick and good hands. Sam's a strong, skillful performer, and it shouldn't be too long before he gets a chance to play in the reserves. In his 6th game for the Panthers, Jack Hawken had a total of 25 disposals. Jack also has accurate kicking skills and takes some good clean ball around the ground. Jack's a small inside midfielder from Sacred Heart College. He makes good decisions during the game and influences the play. Another hard-working midfielder is Liam Wright. Liam had the highest number of possessions for the Panthers, a total of 26 disposals, 6 marks and the same amount of clearances. Liam's an overager who works hard and sets up play. For the Panthers, the end result in round 14 matched the conditions. Sturt winners by 47 points.